Stay tuned for Murfreesboro Storytellers. This month we visit with the gang that gathers for coffee and conversation at Hooper's Supply in downtown Murfreesboro. The following program will present some of the excerpts from that interesting conversation. Welcome to Murfreesboro Storytellers. This month we're doing a special program at the headquarters of Hooper's Supply in Murfreesboro at Front and Castle Streets. Every day at Hooper's Supply there's a group of guys that get together for coffee and conversation. We just thought it'd be fun for you to meet them, to hear about what goes on at Hooper's Supply and find out about more of your friends and neighbors that hang out, if you will, here at Hooper's Supply. Greg, what brought you to Rutherford County?
What brought me to Rutherford County? I came back to Rutherford County when first opportunity I had. I was practicing law in Washington, D.C. On what we call the federal beat, which means I was traveling all over the country. And one day one of my clients said, you ever thought about coming back to Tennessee? And within 5 days we were packing and heading back this way. Rutherford County is my home county where my family was raised, so naturally we looked for a farm, something around here.
Myers, you're probably the senior member of this group, I guess, aren't you?
Well, they say I am, but I feel younger than a lot of them because I act a lot younger.
You certainly do.
Yeah.
I remember we celebrated 9-0 here, what, a couple of years ago?
Right.
Right here at Hooper's Supply.
Right.
I believe you're a graduate of the University of Tennessee.
I went to school there.
What about the Big Orange for football coming up this next
We're
year?
on the way up. We're going to have a good team like we used to have in about 2 years, I'd say.
All right.
But I think we got the right kind of coach this time.
Well, good. Congratulations. You retired educator, cattle dealer.
Well,
Labor
tried a little
organizer.
everything, and life's been awful good to me.
Yeah. Native of Rutherford County.
And I've enjoyed being over here at Hooper's for the last 20 years. I guess I've been coming for 20 years. We've had friends come and friends go, and I miss some of my friends, but we've had some good people that have been here, and we've enjoyed being with one another. This morning I was just listening to the radio, and I heard something that really has been bothering me ever since I heard it.
And what is that?
Well, a great group is thinking about putting everyone on food stamps.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Now, who's thinking about that?
Well, there's some congressmen and there's some people that feel like that people are not eating the right kind of food.
Now, that may be true.
There's a lot of people that are saying that the only way to control the consumption of food is for the government to furnish it all. I haven't thought too much about it, but at first I thought that's the craziest thing I ever heard of.
Jim Baker across the room, graduate of Vanderbilt, retired president of Middle Tennessee Electric Membership Corporation.
Well, that shows you what kind of upgrade you can get when
Vanderbilt has done wonderfully well the last few years on the football gridiron.
I'm probably one of the few in here that isn't a native of Rutherford County. I came here because I wanted to, rather than just being dropped off. So,
All the way from Donaldson?
all the way from Donaldson. But I've enjoyed my stay here and got 2 kids living here. So I suppose after 40-something years, I'm going to come close to being a native.
Very good. Jim, you spent how many years with Middle Tennessee Electric?
42.
Tell us about the growth that it has experienced along with this community, with Middle Tennessee.
Well, when I went there in '60, we had 20,000 customers, and now it's got over 200. So you've had a tenfold increase, which I suppose kind of mirrors the area. That's the kind of increase we've had in population and growth and such as that, and it's still going on. But I think in most cases it's been good. Growth causes problems, but no growth causes even more problems. So I think the area has managed growth very well.
Certainly rather have the problems with growth than with no growth.
If I got to have one, I'd rather have the growth. And a lot of people are sitting around this room have benefited from the growth and have participated in making it good growth.
Very good. Dr. Bill Strang is here, I guess a native of Texas, Bill?
Well, I was born in Arkansas, but I moved to
Arkansas.
Texas when about 8 years of age.
All right.
And I've been here now, I'll be 41 years in August, longer than I was in Texas. So, and I'm kind of like Jim Baker in that I'm not a native, as that obviously says, and but I have been accepted here. I think I have. I'm not sure.
Yeah, let's take a vote.
Ed Jordan always referred to me as a foreigner. He said, you weren't born here, raised here, so therefore you're an outsider. And I can remember when I first came here, a lot of the people asked me questions, who was your grandfather?
Oh, yeah.
And I said, I don't think you'd know him. And so I didn't go into that. But I've enjoyed the association up here, and we've had a good time, and we have all kinds of discussions. Some can be aired and some can't. So,
I understand. I understand there's been a discussion very recently about weeds growing, or grass growing.
well,
here.
Billy is more of an authority on that. I missed the initiation of that, or the initial discussion, but I don't know what prompted that.
Well, let's segue to Billy Miller, class of '49, dear old Central High School.
Class of '49 with John Hood.
Right.
In fact, I think I was in every homeroom that you were in for 12 years.
I think you had some great years together. Critchlow Grammar School and then
Grammar
Central High School.
That's correct. That's correct. Well, we've noticed that it's a bunch of weeds growing outside and need cleaning up pretty badly. So if everyone that comes in every morning will pick up one weed, it won't take but a
Couple
week.
of months.
Week. Well, there's a lot of weeds out there. It might take 10 days. And we'll have all the weeds cleared out.
All right.
Look a lot better.
Very good. So you brought yours in today, I noticed.
In fact, I brought mine and Ebby's in also. I brought more than one.
All right, very good. Well, I was going to mention his older brother, Ebby, here, Edward E. Miller Jr., is here this morning as well. Ebby, he brought your weed in, is that correct?
He says he did, and that's great.
Good enough
But,
for you.
yeah, I think I'm probably the youngest member in time over here, since I've only been coming since about 2011. So I think everybody else has been coming a lot longer than that. And as far as age, I'm trailing Mr. Parsons.
All right. Ebby, you spent many years in the insurance business.
I started in 1949 and still go in. Don't do anything. Don't have any responsibilities.
I still go in every day. That's
Do
very
not draw a salary.
Very, very
Yeah.
good. Well, you guys grew up on South Church Street where the post office is
Yeah,
located.
Billy and I grew up where the post office is on South Church
Right.
Street. Yeah.
And sitting next to you, we've got Jim Haynes, a Rutherford County native. Jim, tell us about the businesses that you're in.
Well,
Be candid, Jim.
I've done
Be candid.
several things. My main business for years and years was Haynes Amusement Company since 1959, and I also bought several convenience stores, operated them, started some tobacco outlets, and sold them, and at the present time, I'm officially retired, but I'm developing some property that I'm scuffling with. And in the meantime, I take off in the mornings and come up here to receive my daily pail of knowledge.
I remember a few days ago you were going out to cut some wood, is that right?
Right.
What was that for?
Well, in the wintertime, as you can see, we've got a fireplace here. It's probably 150 years old, but it works. And in the wintertime, we build a fire in it every morning. Not me, but somebody.
Larry's our fire guide,
He's the fireman,
the guy with the knife.
and he's the official knife sharpener, and that's one reason I come up here to get my knife sharpened by McDonald's. But anyway, we have a fire almost every morning in the cold winter days, and needless to say, this little room is almost out of room, but a hot fire feels mighty good on a cold winter day.
Absolutely. Let me go back to what Jim was referring to as Larry McDonald and sharpening the knife here. Larry, a native of Blackman community, correct?
Born in Blackman.
How long have you been coming to Hooper Supply?
Some 8 years. I retired from UPS and I was a UPS mechanic for 25 years, and I've been here ever since.
Very good.
I started off as a farmer. Mr. Parsons right here taught me agriculture, taught Haynes, taught a bunch of us.
He tried.
And well, he tried to anyway.
That was at Central High School.
At Central High School, and I was his last class, I believe. And then I went on to UPS after that, and I quit farming. I still got a farm in Blackman, and I coyote hunt. I hunt everything.
Have you been coyote hunting on this day?
No, I hadn't been today. I hadn't been since the grass got high. You can't see them. Well, I've killed 17. I've killed 17 this year so far.
Where do you find them?
Just all over the county, all up War Trace, Bell Buckle, everywhere. Killed my first black one this year.
Is that unusual?
Very, very, very. I've never seen one. That's the only one I've ever seen.
Okay.
The second one I've ever seen.
Is there any limit on coyotes?
No, sir.
You're doing a job then to rid the community of them, I presume.
You should put a bounty on it.
They should.
John, I might add this. After Myers got through with McDonald, he said, I've got to find something else to do.
Well, I was going to ask if there was any significance to being the last class.
This man right here made me more money than anybody else ever did. He sold me 30 calves when I was a senior in high school.
Okay.
And I raised them and sold them to Mac Carter out here and made more clear money. I had them on my granddaddy's farm, but I made more money to be that age I ever seen in my life. I didn't know it was that much money.
And you credit that to Myers Park?
No, I bought them from him.
Are you trading in calves anymore?
No,
That's
no.
past history then.
No, that's just the past.
All right.
Was that what started you in the cattle business, that trade with Larry?
What started me in the cattle business was I wasn't making enough money to live on as a teacher.
Yeah.
And I had to get into something else.
And how many years did you teach?
About 10 years at Central High School.
All right. Ernie Brothers, you're a little quiet over there in the corner. You're sitting in the chair that was formerly occupied by Ed Jordan and Tom Lane, I believe.
That's right.
You're a chair of prominence.
Right.
Ernie, tell us about your background. What did you do in your working life?
Well, to start out with, I came to Rutherford County in 1937. I was born in an old schoolhouse out at Short Creek, which is on the other side of Christiana. And there's in I guess about 1947, my dad bought a farm from where I was born at 1 mile away, and still held that farm today. So I still enjoy the country life, and we built a little house out there, and my daughter lives in that house now. So times has been real good to us. Rutherford County has been real good to us. My time of growing up, I got interested in airplanes, and I started flying airplanes out at the college here while I was in college. And I wound up flying for the military, and I wound up flying airplanes for about 35 years. So I've been retired for about 21 years, I guess. So I've had a good life. I've enjoyed Rutherford County. Rutherford County has been very, very, very good to me.
What planes did you fly for the military? What aircraft?
Oh, for the Army, I flew the Mohawk and helicopters. Got a little bit of helicopter time and whatever. And after 35 years, with time builds up, so it gets time to quit. So I was fortunate enough to be able to retire from the federal government at age 55. So I've had a very good life. I've seen a lot. Taught school, taught ag for 3 years. Was
Myers Parsons your role model as an ag teacher?
No, I went to Christiana. When I say no, I didn't know Mr. Parsons.
You didn't know. Okay. I'm glad you qualified that. All right, feel much better about that.
He's from Christiana too.
Yeah, Myers Parsons grew up in Christiana.
Right.
Metropolitan Christiana. Very good. Wayne Boyne over here is very quiet. Wayne, tell us about your background. What brought you to this stage in life?
I've been here 75 years.
Bless you.
And I was born a mile from where I live at right now, on my granddaddy's old place.
And where is that?
Wayside Road in Christiana.
In another Christiana native then, okay.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Holloway, City Horticulturist. And the fall is one of the best times in Tennessee to start planting your trees and shrubs. Here are a few tips to get you started. Get to know your plant. Pick a location that matches the growing conditions your plant requires. Dig the planting hole 2 or 3 times wider than and just as deep as the root ball. Remove all wires, twine, and plant tags. If the root ball is in burlap, you can remove it or keep it. It will decompose. Do not amend the soil or add compost to the planting hole. Do not fertilize the tree or shrub in the fall. Fertilize in the spring. Do not prune the tree or shrub at planting. Wait till spring to do that. Mulch around the planting hole. 3 to 4 inches deep is plenty. Your newly planted tree or shrub will need about 1 inch of water per week until the ground freezes, generally early December.
Bob Huddleston has joined us, and he, along with Billy Miller and I, were members of the class of '49 at Central High School. Bob, welcome to the daily routine at Hooper Supply.
Well, thank you. I've been to the dermatologist this morning. I really don't need a close-up on it.
Do a long shot then, guys. Okay. Tell us about your life's history after growing up here in Rutherford County.
Well, I grew up out on the Woodbury Pike. It used to be East Main Street, and everybody said, well, that's downtown. And one of the largest farms in the county was between my house and town.
Whose farm was that?
That was
Henry Harrell.
Henry Harrell.
Henry Harrell, yeah.
And anyway, I grew up there, and the college airport was 2 blocks away, and Raylan Court right across the street. And so we
at the edge of town then.
I grew up really hanging around the airport.
Yeah. Also, Ernie mentioned about the airport at the college on the university campus. Right. Many people who moved in the community do not realize that the airport used to be actually on the campus, right?
Right, that's correct. Mm-hmm. There was an 1,800-foot strip out there, and there was a lot of people flying. They had a CPT program, which is a college pilot training thing. That was in the 30s, late 30s, early 40s before the war, and then during the war they kept it going then. And
the grass strip.
The grass
strip.
Yeah,
it's a grass strip, yeah. Well, the Murfreesboro Municipal was a grass strip for 2 or 3 years before they paved it. Yeah.
So you learned to fly at MTSU.
Right.
I guess it was Middle Tennessee State College back in those days.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
One of the universities.
State Teachers
Yeah, State Teachers College.
Almost good.
Did Miller Lanier teach you to fly?
Right, he did.
As he did many young men. Where'd you go from there?
Well, I went to Berryfield and ran a flight school for an outfit called Southern Air, and we demonstrated and sold airplanes for a Cessna dealership, and then I went from there to the airlines and did that in 1955, and I stayed there until 86, and I retired in 86, and I came back here in '02.
He should tell you why he came back to Murfreesboro. I know why he did.
You tell us that.
Let's see why he came back to Murfreesboro. See what he said.
Yeah, you see what he said.
Well, I had a wife that wanted to come back here. She
was
spent all
amazing.
her time in Texas she wanted to spend, so she said, come on back. We'd be halfway between our children. Had one in Texas and one in Georgia, so she said, no, we'll be halfway. Well, that's not correct. It's 10 hours out there and 3 hours to Atlanta.
Very
what
good.
she said she wasn't going to be buried in Texas.
All right. So we're back home, and you weathered the tornado here a couple of years ago.
I did that, yeah.
How many trees did you lose?
We lost 44 big trees in the backyard in less than 10 seconds.
In Riverview, right.
He was in the basement watching it.
Yeah, I
Good,
saw
that was a wonderful place to be at that particular time.
Sympathize with the people in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. About out of time. Greg Tucker, give us a quick story that you've learned about Rutherford County and writing your columns to the
John, you might want to explain the cups up there.
Well, I'm all right. Can the camera see those cups? Everybody has their own personal cup, and they're in the rack here. So who washes the cups?
Nobody.
You know
We don't wash.
What's that?
Greg, got a PS about to throw on you about Rutherford County, anything that you've uncovered in your research?
Griffith Rutherford, for whom we're named, there's a stone up there near the courthouse that says Hero of the Revolutionary War. I pulled his Revolutionary War record, and in his first battle, he got there 2 hours after the conflict had concluded. In his second battle, he never got there at all. In the third battle, he was captured and stayed as a prisoner of war for the rest of the war, which probably is the best thing could happen for the revolutionary cause at that time. People ask me, well, if he was such a failure as a military leader, why was he popular? He took 1,400 mounted colonials, came over the mountain and cleared all the Cherokee Indian little towns up there and opened the way for people to come across. Today that might be a war crime, but back then that was made him very popular.
Thank you very much, Greg Tucker. Yes, sir, Bill.
I'd like to mention one thing. One of the members asked me to say something about, if you notice, I don't know whether the camera can catch it or not, there's a bell over there on the window frame. And Ernie just rang the bell. That's to keep this group kind of in line, and if we get an unsavory topic that gets a little out of hand, we ring that bell. And so we'd like to, W.K. Lane provided that for us. And so.
Sorry, WK's not with us today.
Yeah, right.
Ernie, ring it one more time.
Well, some days, John, wait just a minute, some days the bell rings all the time.
While you're out and about town, you can stay informed with emergency alerts sent straight to your phone. Alert Rutherford sends you messages that inform you of emergency situations affecting your home, workplace, child school, or any designated location in Rutherford County. Receive up-to-the-minute information about traffic issues such as accidents, road closures, and alternate routes, severe weather conditions including thunderstorm, flood, and tornado watches, and even information on utility issues including gas leaks and power and water outages. To sign up for Alert Rutherford, go to their website and click on Alert Rutherford. You can also download the Everbridge mobile member app for your smartphone.
Are you curious about how our city government works? Do you want a behind-the-scenes look at everything from the police department to the water treatment plant? Then the Murfreesboro Citizens Academy is for you. The Citizens Academy is an 8-week course that will give you an in-depth look at our city government. You will hear from department heads as well as tour various city facilities as you learn what it takes to run the city of Murfreesboro. Classes are limited, so call or register online today.
Every day, the dedicated employees of Murfreesboro City Government are here for you to make our city great.
Whether for business or pleasure, we're here to ensure you have a safe and enjoyable flight.
We're here to keep you informed and connected with your city government.
We're here when you need a break, and the links are calling your name.
Simply put, we're here for you.
We're here for you.
We're here for you.
We're here for you.
We're Murfreesboro's city government, and we're here for you, creating a better quality of life.
Well, we've enjoyed talking with the coffee crowd at Hooper Supply today and finding out what's on their minds. Now we'd like to talk to the owner of Hooper Supply, Bruce Hooper. Hooper Supply Company, how long has it been in business here as Hooper's?
Well, my dad and granddad started the business in the late 60s, and my grandfather passed away in the 80s, and my dad passed away a few years ago, so I'm the owner and operator.
Very good. So you're the third generation
Yes.
of Hooper Supply.
Yes, I am.
Now, Hooper Supply, what does that suggest? Feed, seed? What do you actually sell?
We do. We sell feed, seed, fertilizer. We custom apply for the farmers. We have buggies that they rent. And then we have homeowner business where we sell seed and fertilizer and erosion control products to the homeowners and to the landscapers and all.
And do you actually do landscaping?
We do not. No, we help them out.
Okay.
We give a lot of opinions and
Give 'em
a lot of advice. Yeah.
I just noticed a customer was in here a minute ago and you were advising him about some of the pesticides, herbicides that you're selling here?
Correct. I guess that's our forte here. We've been doing this a long time, so when a customer comes in and has a certain need, we're able to direct them in the right direction, tell them how to use it and what
Okay.
rates to use it and where to apply. And if we don't know, which is very few things that are on our shelves that we don't know about, we have the county agent here, Rutherford County agent. We can call those
Okay.
guys, and they're good to help us out.
How many different products do you sell? Do you have any idea?
Oh, wow. I would say there's 1,500 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, 1,500 different products. Yeah.
And I'm sure it takes a lot of study to keep up with everything.
It does, because things change, especially in the farming industry. The
Okay.
chemicals change each year, and here on the shelf, we pretty much, what helps us is we know the active ingredient and how it's used and what it's used for. So if they change the brand name, it's not a problem. We
Okay.
just go to the active ingredient.
Rutherford County still is a fairly prominent farming community.
It is. We've been developed, obviously, with the housing industry,
Mhm.
and we've lost a lot of farms, but we're still able to hang in there. We've got a lot of wonderful customers in the farming industry, a lot of landscapers, a lot of contractors, and of course a lot of homeowners that come in here, and we see the same faces each year
I'm
come
sure.
in, so it makes us feel good.
How many years have you personally been in the business?
Well, I got out of college at MTSU back in the 80s.
Okay.
And so I've been here full time ever since.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about this coffee crowd that comes in here every morning. This is every day, Monday through Saturday?
It is. It is. It's a special crowd. I give them a hard time because they're drinking coffee and cups and sugar and creamer, but you know what? They usually take care of all that. But we love them. We love them. They're an asset to our business. There's no doubt about that. A lot of great guys, and every now and then when we slow down, I get a chance to go back and listen to them talk, and it's an experience.
Interesting group. Well, thank you for letting City TV come in and tape a program here
It's my
and
pleasure.
be in your business.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Bruce Hooper, owner of Hooper Supply Company in Murfreesboro. This has been Murfreesboro Storytellers, coming to you this month from Hooper Supply.